Yo, what's up guys, it's Handy Design and I'm gonna be showing you how y'all can make this picture right here in Photoshop. So let's get into it. Alright, first off, we just started with this picture right here. It's up in the NFL field. I kinda wanted this perspective where it was like the camera was real close to the ground, you know. Over here, we just painted on top of this because it's a picture of Tom Brady. We didn't want it to show like all this green, you know, all that color. And then we just color corrected it with the hue and saturation. Here we just took our type tool, pressed it, typed in TB12, put it right there, and then we held alt on it on the TB12, and then just took a brush and painted on this color right here. And then we just do this for all of these. And then these, I put all the Super Bowls he won, and I just did that same technique for all of these ones. It's right there. Next, we added in these stands right here because obviously these stands, jets, we don't need any of that, so we just added in this stand right here. And then like this is just like a last minute decision. We wanted this field right here, and I control T'd it and control T this field perspective, and I just drag the perspective super hard because I really want it to look like you're just looking straight on. Alright, next we took a hue and saturation just up to adjustments, hue and saturation, and let's see, we turned saturation down to -55, lightness -10, brightness contrast. Our brightness contrast, we lowered our brightness to -110. Took our white brush and you can just paint along right here. You see it gets darker on these corners because we wanted the light to be coming through right here. Next, alright, so light's coming right here, you can see, and then I figured the light's gonna be hitting right here, so I just made my brush like this with the black brush and just painted in the spots where it would be brighter. Okay, next we just took a white brush on a low flow, maybe like a 30 flow white brush, and we just painted just like this. It's like this for the light, very soft light, you can see. Here we took a picture of some particles. You can't really see them right there, but I wanted some like dust particles to clipping mask it onto this light right here. And then you can see we just made the field brighter by turning up the brightness, pressing Control I, and brushing onto it. For this fog, we go down here to this right here, we right click solid color and just make it a gray color. Go to brush, put it on white, and make sure you're at about 8 opacity. We just want to create some depth in here, so we just brush it on, not opacity, like 8 flow. You can see if we just brush, it kind of has that effect right there. And here is where we added in the particles. So you can see these particles added in right here to this light, like that. And we just found a picture of particles on Google or whatever and put them in here. Alright, next for this light, we took a brightness and contrast, turn the brightness all the way up, press Control I so everything looks normal. Then take your white brush and just paint. You can see anywhere I paint, it just gets brighter. So we just painted from the light source down. Next, we had our first trophy right here. So Tom Brady has 7 Super Bowl trophies, so I think I put in 7 here. And we just look up Super Bowl trophy. That probably says not Patriots or Bucks, but it's whatever, you can't tell. And then I added this shadow, it's a exposure, and we kind of wanted to match the exposure to this brightness right here, like the darkest point's brightness, right? Because we're gonna add some shine right here with the brightness and contrast. Just turn the brightness all the way up and then paint on the brightness on the very edges where the sunlight would be hitting it. Next we have this Brady right here. We just threw in this picture. We put a camera on it. we just turned up the highlights, turned down the shadows, a little bit of texture, nothing too crazy on it. And then for his shadow, let's see, this is actually this trophy shadow back there. So alright, this is his feet. I painted these in just with the black brush to lower the opacity because I think it needed to be darker at his feet. And then for this, I press Control J on my Tom Brady. I press flip vertical perspective, and you stretch it out. Just stretch it out, and then rotate it to where his feet are matching up. And I usually like to, I think this makes it look a lot better if you take your eraser, low flow, and just erase sort of like the top, like it's fading out. Alright, now we put a hue and saturation on our Brady, and we want to make this helmet look like a Patriots helmet because those are the two teams he played on, Bucks and Patriots. So I didn't do a great job at this. I've never done this before, and if I could have found a Patriots helmet at this perspective, I would have used it, but I couldn't find one, so I had to make with what I had. So I turned my saturation down. Oh yeah, by the way, I took to get rid of the Buccaneers logo, I took this tool right here, the spot healing brush tool, and painted over it, and just got rid of the Bucks logo. And I'll put a hue and saturation, turn the saturation down, and turn the lightness up until I got a nice silver looking thing. And then I pressed Control I, and I took my white brush and I painted on only where it should be painted on. Next, my hue and saturation, I wanted to desaturate these yellows from his skin, so I just turned the saturation down and just press saturation. If I go to yellows here, saturation -41. This exposure where the light's not hitting him, we just paint it on with the white brush. We just painted on some darkness onto him, nothing too intricate here. For our brightness and contrast, then over here we can see all of these highlights right here. We just turn our brightness up to turn it up to 63, contrast -2. Then you press Control I to invert it, and then brush on with the white brush all right here, and it gives it a nice little shine. Next, for this, you can see all of these shadows added, so like all right here in his shirt, just adds a lot of definition. So -60, 36. Usually keep my brush about 40 to 50, and you just paint in right here. Paint in all the shadows, makes it look a lot better in my opinion. Next, for these for this brightness and contrast, I wanted to make it a lot more, make the light look like it's hitting him a lot more, so I turned up to 150, and only on the very edges of him I painted, like up on his hair. Be hitting him a lot right there. And then for this curves layer, you can see this pattern I did right here. Next, we got a Patriots logo, and we just fit it on there best we could, like the best, where I thought it looked best. And then the next one we did the same. Oh, not that. Let's show this. Oh, this. Okay, next for the rest of the trophy. So he didn't ever win this trophy, but it's just a GOAT. The suiting, I figured. Football trophy. I think this is an MVP trophy. She did win a few of. This may be a Super Bowl MVP, whatever. Alright, we added these trophies right here. I'm not gonna show you those shadows yet. We added in these trophies. Okay, then for the shadow, we do the same technique we did on the Tom Brady for all of these shadows right here. You can see all the shadows, same technique. And then so these were on a group, all the trophies. So we could put this hue and saturation on to make all the trophies silver, because obviously, maybe just me, but I don't think this looks right. I think if they were all silver, it would look much better. Then for the exposure, you can see on the side where the light is not shining on everyone, I just made it darker, only in those areas though. Brightness and contrast we put on 150 and painted on the edges of all of these. Right here where this light would hit the most, we painted on. For our exposure, once again we took it minus 250 and we kind of just painted some more shadows where we thought they would belong, in front of him and here. Up here, it was really because these guys should be darker up here because he's like in the shadow. I don't know why I'm referring to them as people, but right here we took a lens flare, just an image from Google, and we set the we set it to screen and put it across just like this. We just kind of warped it in place, and then we put a hue and saturation and turned the saturation down all the way, and it gave it this nice I don't know, flare effect. And we did the same for some of these trophies. Some of them were getting hit pretty hard by the light. And see if we did it for this one right here. For that one right here, we added it to Tom Brady actually, because you can see the light's hitting him pretty hard right here. So we just added it to his hair right there, to the helmet. Right here we just add a little bit of texture to it, nothing crazy. So you can just see all this noise right here, sort of. We just looked up a noise and then we put it on color dodge and kept the opacity at only 2. And it just gives it a slight effect. Next we wanted to add this football right here, and we just took our brush and just smushed it and put a black spot right there for the shadow. Hue and saturation, had to turn down the saturation a little bit so it could fit the picture. For the exposure, make it darker, and yeah, that's basically the design, guys. Right here I just put my watermark up there, you know, always put your watermark, don't forget. And after we put a camera on, we put a little bit of color correction, a little bit of turned up the lighting, you can see, turned down the shadows a little bit. This is what we have, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helps you out a little bit, and I'll see y'all.